If you've clicked on this video, you're probably a group fitness instructor or you're thinking about being a group fitness instructor and you're wondering, how in the world do I record my classes? So today let's talk about the why, where, how, and maybe even some tips to make this a little bit easier. Stay tuned. If we've not met, my name is Jamie and welcome to Group Fitness Headquarters. This is the place if you're thinking about becoming an instructor, you just took that training and you're thinking, now what? Or maybe you're a seasoned group fitness instructor and you're just wanting to level up your classes. This is about getting some tips and tricks, ideas, how-tos, and even some interviews with some of our fitness gurus that can give us how their journey went and what we can learn from them that worked really well and maybe things we should watch out for. Make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. For today, I want to talk about how we can record our class. And I'm talking specifically like why we should do this, how we go about doing this, maybe some tips and tricks just to make things a little easier. So let's start with the why. Why do we need to record our classes as a group fitness instructor? So you might be thinking, oh my goodness, my class is gonna hate this. There is no way I'm gonna put a camera in the front of this classroom and they are gonna be okay with me recording it. You might be surprised on this, especially your front rowers. You know who I'm talking about. Those ones that are like, you put a camera in front of them and you just might be surprised what you get out of that footage. The best why on why you can record your classes is it's really gonna show your progress in your class. You're gonna be able to see how your students are doing with a particular move or a particular routine, and it gives you time to be able to evaluate, do I need to preview this, break this down, do this a little different? Or is there a move we're doing that maybe the form is not right in the class and you really need to take that moment to do some safety tips or slow the move down with your team? Think of it like this. You're the football coach who's watching the playbacks. The best piece of having your footage is this is like the window into social media. So you can have short clips or long clips that you can put out. So let's talk about long clips for a second. Have you ever had somebody in class say, man, that was an awesome class and I wish I could redo it at home? Bingo, you now have the footage. Or maybe there's a particular, if you're doing dance fitness and you have a particular routine that someone's like, you know what? This class is just, I'm not quite ready to come into this room. This is a little intimidating. Can I learn this at home and then, completely smash it when I walk in the room? Again, you also have that full long footage that they can just press play in their own home and do the workout. Short clips are amazing, and it is a thing that you can use for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, even over on Facebook. You can take little snippets of your class to help market exactly what somebody is going to see if they attend one of your classes. So future videos right here on this channel, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks on how we can specifically create content for each of those social media platforms. What I will say is if there is one that you're like, girl, I need that today, if you leave a comment below and I'll move it up on the list to get recorded. So let's talk about where do you record. So when you walk into your room the next time, your group fitness room, I want you to take a look around the room and say, where would be a really good spot to place a camera that is not going to get in the way of the participants that are in the class? So the last thing you want to do is set a camera like right in the middle of the room. Even though that might be the best shot, we safely want to make sure that we're not putting something as an obstacle or something that's going to be in the way of your class participants. Usually the best place to put your camera or set it up is right in front of the classroom or even off to an angle just a little bit so that you can get that footage right of the front of you where someone can see, okay, do I need to go left? Do I need to go right when I'm doing this dance or workout? You really want to think about where your light source is and where your audio is coming from. So for instance, in the room that I'm working out, I have two large speakers that are at the very front of the room. And that sound is going to come out, bounce off the back walls, and then come back forward. So I want to make sure that I place my camera in a place where it's going to be able to capture that sound and not sound completely wonky. So if I put that camera over to the side, they may not necessarily hear that same type of beat and music that I'm getting if I face it front on. Okay, this is the biggest tip, and I see this a lot of times when I'm watching other footage from other group fitness instructors that are taping this. You have to get that camera off the floor. So I'm gonna put some footage right in here of two examples of one where you're looking at it right where the camera is on the floor looking up, and then versus having a camera that's looking straight on. And you may be saying, okay, great, yes, I need to get it off the floor. How do I go about doing that? So I have two things that you can use. One, you can use your traditional tripod where you can set it up right in front of the class, or if you have mirrors in the front of your room, I have found a suction cup I guess it's a tripod. It's not really a tripod, but a holder for you to place your camera in the front of the room. Okay, so let's talk about how am I going to record? Do I need to go buy this big fancy camera? What do I need to do? And I'm gonna tell you, for the most part, your phone that you probably have in your hand watching this video is the camera that you're gonna need. That's it. So you can place your camera right in the front of your classroom, press record, and be able to get some really great footage for you to put out for branding your classes, marketing your classes, or being able to supply some extra content to your students. So for me specifically, what I have found has worked best is using my iPhone. I do use the camera that's the rear facing camera and point it towards the front of the class. I personally like to change the footage to 4K. That way, if I want to zoom in on one of these Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, the quality of the image doesn't become distorted or blurred. It's still crystal clear. So let's just take a minute and talk about storage, because you may have just said to yourself, oh girl, there is no way I'm gonna be able to store a video on my phone. So let's talk about Google Photos. Whew. This might be the best tip you can get out of this video if you do not know about Google Photos. Google Photos is free. You can pay to increase your storage, but for the most part, what you need, you can get on the free version. And you can set it up on an Android or an iPhone where it will automatically download your pictures. And what this means is once I download them over to Google Photos, I can access them from my computer or even from the app that's within my phone, and then I can delete those images off of my phone, freeing up storage. When I record a video, what I do is I link that video just using a cable to my computer and move that video footage over, store it there, and then delete it off of my iPhone. So a couple of things when you are recording, just remember when it's facing you, if you typically cue with left or right, that may be mirrored when you put your footage up. So there's a couple of ways to kind of go about that. One, in class, you could start pointing versus saying left or right. Or the really cool thing, in most editing softwares, you can actually flip your footage. So now it would go and correspond with what you're verbally cueing with your left and right. So once you start your journey with recording your classes, very quickly you're gonna say, okay, my audio, I need to get better audio. And there are a couple of things you can really dive down into to increase the quality of the audio that you're receiving. Some of them are super easy and some of them are way complicated. I'm gonna show you just really quickly what I use to be able to capture my audio in a different output or a different source. I use a Tascam to be able to record everything that's coming out, that's my mic and my music, into a separate track, and then I overlay that with my video when I'm in my editing software. If you have any interest in knowing exactly what I'm using, like hardware and software and editing, if you'll just leave a comment below and I'll create a video that shows exactly the steps that I'm using. So now what? You've created this gorgeous video and you're like, okay, great, I have this really long video, what do I do with this? So stay tuned for next couple of videos that are coming to come right on this channel, where we're gonna talk about how we can break that down into editing for long format, so your class could have the full workout if they wanted to, but really how to break it down into those different social media platforms. What I'm gonna ask is if there is one that you're like, that's high priority and I would like to know exactly how to do that, if you'll put a comment below, that'll be the one that I move up to the top of the list. I just want to say thank you guys for joining me. Please stay tuned. We've got some amazing fitness gurus. They're going to be coming right to this channel. I'm going to interview them and we are going to drill down and get their secrets of what has worked, what has not worked, and what we can take away so, we can move our journey a little bit forward. All right, guys, go be awesome.